Aminure tua inter aku tasineb. Nuku nuku amiku kemen keperu eminta heyu. Nuku e aminu inku amiku. Aminure tua inter aku tasineb.
That was beautiful. Love and gratitude to you all. This is me, Heru Tehuti. Well, you already know. You can see in the post. I want to get into a topic real deep that it starts with you. And I need you all not to just understand, but to also understand and overstand that it all starts with you. Yes, we come from our parents who come from our grandparents, and our grandparents who come from our great-grandparents, and our great-grandparents who come from our great-great-grandparents, and so far back through our ancestry. But what's really important is that you must start with you. See, when you start with you and you start doing an in-depth study of yourself, not just of your mind, not just of your physical, but of your spirit, your soul, your telepathy, your clairvoyance, your intuition, and your psychometry. In doing so, you will also be studying your entire ancestry, just studying within yourself. See, many make the mistake of always studying outer sources first to find themselves, when you should be studying your inner source first. You should be studying you first. Learn to master you first. Learn to discover why. Actually, discover why is it that you think the way you think. And you will find that in yourself, because it's encoded in our DNA. Not to be all scientific, but DNA is even DNA is spiritual. Those are things that they hide from us, but that's a whole nother discussion. But if you want to work on becoming a better you, not even just becoming a better you, it's above and beyond. You really want to get in tune with your ancestors. You really want to get in tune with who you are, where you come from, and where you're going. Start with you. Start by studying your spirit. When you study your spirit, you're going to go into a much deeper meaning of you. And when I say a much deeper meaning, you're definitely going to go into a much deeper meaning of you. You're going to start rapidly discovering your purpose for living. You're going to start rapidly discovering that you don't need to be around the people that you're around. That intuition, which is spirit, that clairvoyance, which is spirit, that telepathy, which is spirit, and that psychometry, which is also spirit. See, it's the spirit that works with the mind, and the spirit also comes along with those four senses. See, they tell us we have five senses, but in actuality, there's only one physical sense, and it's all touch. Think about it. In order for you to smell something, the aroma must touch the back of your nose, that your adenoids and everything else, in order for you to smell. In order for you to taste, it must what? The food must touch your taste buds. In order for you to hear, the sound must touch your eardrums. And for the sight, in order for us to see what it is we're looking at, has to touch our eyes, our retina, our cornea, and then some. Now, it's not an easy journey studying yourself. There's going to be so many people trying to distract you, There's going to be people giving all types of scarves, like, when you say, I'm going to take some time and study myself. Oh, look who's ego tripping. They're going to come out from all fields and say such things, which is wrong. But get a hold of yourself, and you need to know that you are not in control of the thoughts of others. You're in control of your thoughts. You have been given your life to live, not the life of anyone else's. And we all run into these situations with people when we're on the quest for self-knowledge, when we ask those 3 words to ourselves, that 3-word question: who am I? And it's okay to ask your parents questions about your lineage, where your family comes from, because that's very, very important. But I know everybody is into, colonization, waving your American flag, waving your Italian flag, waving all your different types of African flags, or waving all your different types of Caribbean flags. But the real essence and the first stepping stone into self-study is to find out what were the name of the tribes that was living in those specific regions that you are linked to ancestrally, meaning you're their descendant. What are the names of those tribes before colonization came and all these world governments and everything else? What was the name of the tribes? So when you say you're Italian, okay, Italian is a nationality. But if you was born here, that'll make you an American. American is a nationality. If you're from Scandinavia is Scandinavian is a nationality. If you were born here, then your nationality would be American, depending on which government you choose to abide by. That will be your nationality. Now, if your ancestry comes from Scandinavia, you would be Viking, most likely. Then if your ancestry comes from specific parts of the Middle East, like Iraq, Iran, what's another place? The other place would be Israel, and there'll be some Israelite blood there. There'll be Yisrael, because there's no I in the Aramaic language, wrongfully known as Hebrew. The word Hebrew is an action verb in the Aramaic language, which is really Yibri, meaning to cross over, but that's another discussion as well. Now, in that region, most likely your ancestors would be Zoroastrian, or Zoroastrian, or Zoroastrian. There's a few ways to pronounce that culture's name, and they follow the laws and guidelines of Ahura Mazda. If your family is from what's now known as Scandinavia, your ancestors were Viking, and they followed the ways of Odin. They followed the ways of Freya. They followed the ways of Loti and Tiwaz and so many other names. If your family comes from Northeast Africa, one thing I want to touch something real quick. I get very offensive being a descendant of the ancient Kemites, which is wrongfully known as Egyptians. The word Egypt is a racist Greek word that means burnt-faced people. There is no such word as Egypt in the Kemetic language. Don't believe a word I tell you. Look it up for yourself. Now, if your family comes from that region, then there's tribes. There would be Pataites. There'll be Napatites. There'll be, who else? Nubians, Nubans. It would take it over to Nigeria. If your family comes from Nigeria, then your family would be of the Yoruba tribes, of the Igbo, and the Ibije tribes, and as such. And if you're from anywhere in the Americas, your family would either be Olmec, Olmec, and or any of the native tribes, Blackfoot, Sioux, Choctaw, Shinnecock, Seminole, Creek, Inca, Aztec, Mayan, which the Guatemalans and the Mexicans are not immigrants. Guatemala and Mexico are the name of governments, though they're native to these Americas, but yet they're disrespectfully called immigrants, which is another discussion. I can't wait to do a few-hour live video on that topic. But that's a great stepping stone of asking questions about your ancestors. And then after you ask questions about your ancestors, you do a little bit of studying about their ways, find out the deities that the natural ways of life that they chose to follow. And you'll be amazed on how much that it resonates with you. And then when you do that, like I said, when you take that stepping stone, and then you're going to need some solitude just for the time being. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just giving you some great words of advice. It's up to you if you want to. But when you're starting with yourself and you're building upon yourself, you're going to run into many people trying to distract you. A lot of times it's loved ones. A lot of times it's friends. Sometimes there's evil spirits with nothing to do, and they just might want to go use somebody else. They might want to use a total stranger sitting next to you while you're traveling, or even while you're driving. Somebody might just cut you off, like in a way, like they have all that space, but they chose to cut you off. You might be traveling, sitting on the bus or the train or even a plane or of any sort, and there'll be all these empty seats, but yet this person has to come sit right next to you to start with you. So even unseen forces will start with you. Even unseen forces will try to pick you apart. So you have to keep your guards up and stay very, very alert. Stay very, very alert. And and I get it, people are into all these spiritual protection amulets and emblems, but find out what were the protection amulets and emblems and things of that sort that your ancestors used to wear or used to use to protect themselves, because it's spirit, it's soul, it's mental, it's physical, and it's also by blood. And we can't leave out the psychometry, the clairvoyance, the telepathy, and the intuition. See, sometimes your ancestors will talk to you, and it's not just your ancestors talking to you at times. Sometimes you might hear voices without hearing voices that comes into your mind in the form of thought waves. Or sometimes you could be sitting there watching television and see somebody standing between you and the TV, but at the same time, you still see nobody standing between you but just the TV. Sometimes that really wows me out. That happens to my sons a lot. And my older daughters, it definitely happens to them. They told me about it. I never said anything about it to them. But on their own, they told me about specific situations, and things go on. As far as sometimes we see people from the corner of our eyes. That's nothing new. Everybody sees people from the corner of our eyes, and then when we turn to look, they disappear. Or we know something's watching us and we can see out the corner of our eye, and what do? We start stretching and act like we're tired, and we play like, not play, but we try to act in denial of these things. But it is very imperative. Please start getting in tune with yourself. Find a way that suits you to get in tune with yourself, but just make sure it's in solitude. Or you can also find people who have the same things in common that you have that can give you a push in that direction, and you can compare notes as well to see how much you guys are alike. And because it's a beautiful thing to find your soul family as well when you're taking a journey. Some people, they just don't want to take that journey, or they just don't know how to take it. Or some people, they actually want to and just don't know how to take that journey. But you have to know it's up to you. It is on you. It is completely on you to build the better you, not anyone else. You just can't tell most people at times what it is you're doing, because they will try to destroy you. This is a basic topic that I'm just speaking on. In future episodes, I'm going to get deeper into linguistics and magic and everything else. But right now, this is just the first episode, and we're going to enjoy the first episode. I hope everybody likes the images. I worked really, really hard on this for you all. And I give you all an abundance of love and gratitude. And I want you all to be your best yous. You're going to run into situations where people tell you you're selfish. I want you to take that definition of selfish and reinvent it, and say, when they tell you you're selfish, I want you to reply, if I'm not of myself, how can I be of anyone else? That's the new definition for selfish. And not just selfish. If somebody tells you you're full of yourself, what I want you to ask them is, can they drive from New York City to San Francisco on an empty gas tank? Seriously, start reinventing these words, because what people try to do all the time is they try to make you not be you. Is throughout history, so many are just so accustomed to colonization and being controlled, and now it's like the control syndrome is on autopilot, and so many people are out there who can I control? Who can I control? But you just gotta maintain discipline in your spirit searching, your soul searching, your mental searching, and your physical searching as well. Your telepathy searching, your clairvoyant searching, your psychometry searching, and your telepathic searching. You just have to take the time. And it's nothing wrong with being in tune. It's nothing wrong with being in tune with nature and going out there grounding, because it's a beautiful thing when you could feel the heartbeat, when you can just go out there and feel the heartbeat of Mother Nature.
The mother's heart reverberates in the ground beneath your feet. And the drummer's hands, they translate into a pounding beat. And the pounding fuels the dancers as they twist and leap and twirl. And the dancers feed the chanters as their melodies they spin. And all will feed the fire, flames leap to kiss the night. And all of this together is a goddess brought to life. Drummers drumming in the night, feel the beat. Bodies ride by firelight, bathed in heat. A web of melody does sound both high and sweet. Heed the goddess when she calls the children one and all. Celebrate the fire round, dance, drum and sing till the earth does pound. Dance, drum and sing till the earth does pound. Dance, drum and sing till the earth does pound. The mother's heart reverberates in the ground beneath your feet. And the drummer's hands, they translate into a pounding beat. And the pounding fuels the dancers as they twist and leap and twirl. And the dancers feed the chanters as their melodies they spin. And all will feed the fire, flames leap to kiss the night. And all of this together is the goddess brought to life. Drummers drumming in the night, feel the beat. Bodies ride by firelight, bathed in heat. A web of melody does sound both high and sweet. Heed the goddess when she calls the children one and all. Celebrate the fire round, dance, drum and sing till the earth does pound. Dance, drum and sing till the earth does pound. Dance, drum and sing till the earth does pound. The mother's heart reverberates in the ground beneath your feet. And the drummer's hands, they translate into a pounding beat. And the pounding fuels the dancers as they twist and leap and twirl. And the dancers feed the chanters as their melodies they spin. And all will feed the fire, flames leap to kiss the night. And all of this together is the goddess brought to life. Drummers drumming in the night, feel the beat. Bodies ride by firelight, bathed in heat. A web of melody does sound both high and sweet. Heed the goddess when she calls the children one and all. Celebrate the fire round, dance, drum and sing till the earth does pound. Dance, drum and sing till the earth does pound. Dance, drum and sing till the earth does pound. The mother's heart.
That was beautiful, The Mother's Heart. That really, really gets me going. And like I said, Mother Nature, she is just beautiful. Get out there, because you have to remember there's a reason why it is important to study these elements of nature, because these elements of nature are a part of us as well. So when we're doing our self-study, we have a whole lot to study. Yes, as corny as it might sound, we have to study the sun. We have to study the moon. We have to study the different types of trees and the different types of plants that's growing from the ground, the different types of fruits, the different types of vegetables. So many things to study, so many different types of rocks that we have to study. So many things. Study the sand at the beach, study the shells, study the crystals. If you can ever get near any gems or emeralds, study them. Study as much as you can, because this nature is a part of all of us. Nature is a part of all of us. And what I want you all to know, I want you, well, not just know, and I'm pretty sure, you know, you all know, but the reminder is that we must keep in mind that we are not just the children of our mothers, but we are also the children of the great mother of eternal creation, who was assisted by the great Father, who assisted the great Mother in the eternal creation. But at the same time, there was a point in time where women were able to conceive without the aid of the man. I can't wait to get to episode 5 for that one. That's going to be very, very beautiful. But we are all her children, and it is very, very important to live and have fun in nature as she requires us to.
I call the earth, the fire, the wind and rain. Dance, my children, dance. To guide you on this mortal plane. While you dance, children, dance. I made the ground soft beneath your feet so you could dance, children, dance. And the fire to bathe you with its heat. While you dance, children, dance. I made the rain to fall to cool you down. While you dance, children, dance. And the wind to blow you dry again. While you dance, children, dance. I made the sun by day and the moon at night so you could dance, children, dance. So you're always in my loving light. While you dance, children, dance. And you dance with the sun and the moon and the wind and the rain. And you dance with the earth and you dance with the flame. And you dance with the stars and the velvet sky. All things dance in the circle of life. So I call you to my circle now. Dance, my children, dance. Peace and love and togetherness. May you dance, children, dance. Always dance, children, dance. Like all the earth, the fire, the wind and rain. Dance, my children, dance. To guide you on this mortal plane. While you dance, children, dance. I made the ground soft beneath your feet so you could dance, children, dance. And the fire to bathe you with its heat. While you dance, children, dance. I made the rain to fall to cool you down. While you dance, children, dance. And the wind to blow you dry again. While you dance, children, dance. I made the sun by day and the moon at night so you could dance, children, dance. So you're always in my loving light. While you dance, children, dance. And you dance with the sun and the moon and the wind and the rain. And you dance with the earth and you dance with the flame. And you dance with the stars and the velvet sky. All things dance in the circle of life. So I call you to my circle now. Dance, my children, dance. Peace and love and togetherness. May you dance, children, dance. Always dance, children, dance. All things dance, children, dance.
Hope that was fun and made you all want to move. Every now and then, sometimes on the shows, there's going to be something to pop up to make you move and to stomp your feet. And I don't know, to some of you, bring the pagan out of you. To some of you might want to say, bring the spirit out of you. Some might want to say, bring the Neteru out of you, the ancestors. You know, everybody has a different name for different frequencies. But yes, everyone, all this nature is a part of us, and we are all her children. All of us are her children. There's not no one above the other. She has a plan for us, and she's sticking to it. Why do you think nobody is more smarter than the other? That's because she wants us to all learn from the other. Why you think we all know something that the other does not know? And somebody else knows something that we do not know? And why do we all have strengths and weaknesses that the other does not have? Because that's the way she intended it to be. That's the way Mother Nature, or the great mother of eternal creation, intended it to be. So, just keep this all in mind, though. This life that you're living here, it starts with you. In order to get in tune with your genetic makeup, your ancestors, not just here in the physical realm, not just in the spiritual realm as well, but even beyond that. See, we just know about the spirit and the soul, and we know about telepathy, psychometry, clairvoyance, and intuition. We know about these things, but right now we're living in some times now. We're definitely living in some times now, to where it is very, very imperative to know thyself. But like I was saying, there's things that go beyond even the spiritual and beyond the soul. But this is what we know while we're here going through our initiation here on planet Earth. This is what we know. This is what we know. And when we go into the next life, which might be reincarnation for all we know, and we know there's a reincarnation, that's why we have deja vus. Like, we can meet a total stranger that we have never met before, and feel as if we had a conversation with them even before we spoke to them. And then, ironically, when we do have a conversation with them, the conversation is exactly about what we was thinking the conversation was, and you're still in your head. I don't know this person. Like, where do I know this person from? I never met this person, but everything, I just thought about having this conversation with this person. Yes, it's obvious you and this person have met in another life. Could have been here on Earth, could have been somewhere else. For all we know, it could have been anywhere. It could have been anywhere. And getting to know yourself, like I said, it starts with you. It's not going to start in no book. It's not going to start with... it's not going to start with... it's just not going to start with going to a psychologist. Most psychologists, not all, but most psychologists, they have some problems of their own as well. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They have some issues of their own as well. And you got to start with you. And it does hurt when you have to start disassociating yourself with people you love for the time being. And it's kind of hard to bite your tongue when people want to make these comments of, oh, look at this person thinks she's this, or think he's this, or just whatever. And it's going to be a great journey, though, because you're going to learn one key component that's needed into getting to know yourself. And like I said, when you get to know yourself, that means you've gotten to know all of your ancestors. Because if your ancestors wasn't mating and going through whatever trials and tribulations of whatever it is they had to go through to survive, and some of our ancestors went through many bad things, let's just leave it at that, in order to survive, and did things they did not want to do for you to be here. So not just you, but all of us should be grateful. All of us should be very, very grateful. Seriously. And sometimes we, you let's say if you might not be successful at things you always want to do, but the key to getting to know yourself, that's the key. to getting to know yourself, to unlock that door to why, so you can find your way to your success. But just always remember, it all starts in the inner. There's nothing evil about darkness, because we all come from the beautiful dark wombs of all our mothers, no matter what race she might be. Ethnicity, nationality, whatever these human beings think they are these days. But always remember, always remember, it starts from within before it starts out. Okay, everyone? So I'm about to close this in a few moments. I wish you all divine love, dark, light, and gratitude. And I wish you all a very, very empowering night. I definitely wish you all a very empowering night. And love those who love you, and take care of those who are willing to take care of you, because that's what really matters. They are who really matter. So please do. As Oprah Winfrey once said, it's about those who want to ride the bus with you, not about those who want to sit in the back seat of the limo with you. That's who it's about. So I'll leave you all with something for all of our mothers.
Mother of light, earth beneath us, soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our heart. Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath us, soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our heart. Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath us, soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our heart. Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath us, soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our heart. Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath us, soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our heart. Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath us, soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our heart. Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath us, soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our heart. We all come from the goddess, and to her we shall return like a drop of rain, flowing to the ocean. We all come from the goddess, and to her we shall return like a drop of rain, flowing to the ocean. We all come from the goddess, and to her we shall return like a drop of rain, flowing to the ocean. We all come from the goddess, and to her we shall return like a drop of rain, flowing to the ocean. We all come from the goddess, and to her we shall return like a drop of rain, flowing to the ocean. We all come from the goddess, and to her we shall return like a drop of rain, flowing to the ocean. We all come from the goddess, and to her we shall return like a drop of rain, flowing to